Hello, how y'all doing today? I want to just kind of like touch up on getting older, and hopefully getting wiser and getting prepared for the next level or next stage in your life because it's guaranteed. If you live, it's a guarantee that it's gonna be another level. And so the thing about it is this here. Um, each age group, every 10 years, whatever you did in your 20s, you should be able to have been learned or been able to go to the next, to your 30s and then the 40s, then the 50s and 60s. And so hopefully. So this is a thing. I'm 53. Some of you might know and some of you might not know. And so this is the thing. I just want to say I've been laid off now a year, and I've been back and forth, well, keeping my grandson, being a grandma for a change and stuff, as they say, or whatever the case is. But I raise my kids so they can raise theirs. But anywho, I've been back now from Florida about 2 weeks now. So the thing about it is this here. Having your independence, having your independence. Um, you got to be obedient. You have to be obedient. You have to, because you don't know what tomorrow is gonna hold. In the world that we living in now, it's like it it's just crazy. It's just crazy to sum it up in a nutshell. But the Lord is our sanctuary, our refuge. He is our solid foundation. And if you don't have some kind of belief or whatever the case is, I each day on. But I'm just saying what's been in my life and been working for me and stuff like that. So because of being obedient to what the Lord been showing me, that has caused me to be where I am. Not saying that everything is okay, but each level, each age bracket, you should be preparing for the next age bracket, which is retirement. And a lot of us don't have it together. Some of us getting it together, but the ones that are single, in my age or even younger or older than me, I'm pretty much kind of talking to you. Or even it could be some of you that is in relationships or marriages and you trying to exit out and don't know how. But the thing about it is I had to be obedient and go this here route. I mean, the job that I was on, I had was making real good money being a supervisor. But I was led to get me a storage building, 14 by 50. And then I got another one, 12 by 24. But I lived in the 14 by 50. I converted that into a one bedroom because I didn't want nobody else to be in here with me, the kids and stuff. And the reason I did that because like when you get old and stuff, you like peace and quiet. You like peace and quiet. And then if you have your children with you, them young adults and stuff, um, they got friends, and they is totally different. They is totally different than you. And when you get so, oh, you like peace and quiet, peace and quiet. You don't want to hear nothing. And so they might have they friends visit you or want whatever the case is. And they friends is not my friends. I don't have friends. So long story short, I wanted to be alone. I wanted my kids around me, but I wanted to be in this here sanctuary alone. And so the Lord led me to get this here storage building. To sum up everything in a nutshell, I was obedient. I got it paid off. What would have taken me 5 years, I did that in 3.5 years. It would have been shorter than that if I would have known that half of the money was going towards rental fee. But that's not here there. But the thing about it is being obedient. Because like I said, when you start getting older, and it's not old age that causes you to be on a side income. You might be get disabled, hurt on your job or in a car accident or whatever that causes you to be on a side income. That's just like retirement. To me, retirement is like not in the workforce, the traditional workforce. And so this is the thing, but if you don't get prepared for it, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. The only thing I can just tell you, I just have to tell you what worked for me, what's been going on with me, and that's just been listening to what the Lord been telling me to do. And I'm not saying everything is okay right now. I still got some things I need to do to my home, but until then, I'm gonna live in it. And until the Lord put in my spirit what to do for his finance and stuff like this here, and I've been putting in application, been doing this and doing that, my part and stuff like that. And until then, I'm gonna be working up on my physical, and which I have been doing. Not saying that I have any health problems or taking no kind of medication. I just thank God for that. I don't have no illnesses or none of that. But number being overweight, and we know that can contribute to a multitude of health problems. So we have been working on that to have a nice older age, so that we won't be a burden on our loved one. Not only do you want to be getting yourself together for yourself, but you got to be considering your children if you love them. And I'm not knocking you. I'm not gonna say you don't love them, because a lot of us doing different things and stuff, but we not being conscious of what our actions are. And it is a disservice, and it's not fair to our children or our adult children that we want to live our best life, put all of this here different stuff, smoking and drinking or whatever you doing, um to deteriorate your body that that he giving you to take care of, to get you through in this here on this here earth. A lot of people say, "Hey, you ain't got number one life to live." I don't say what everybody say. Because I don't know. I don't know about no reincarnation or going to the other side and coming back. I don't know none of that because I ain't been there and done that. The only thing I know is just to do well while you're able to do well. So that ain't the subject of what I'm talking about. But if you is of a certain age and you doing some of the same things 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. First of all, you need to start loving you. Because once you start loving you, you're going to start making decisions that's best for you. Because if you're doing anything to harm your body, not saying that natural illness and all this here stuff, because stuff happens. But if it's in your control to change anything that you doing that's going to cause you problems later on, you got to start loving yourself enough to do that. Whether it's a relationship, health problem, or financial, you women, you gonna have to wake up. And maybe it ain't nobody never painted that picture for you. And hopefully what I'm telling you may paint a picture for you. Because this is the thing. If you love you, you're not going to harm you. If you smoking, you drinking, you know what they're going to do to your body. Make it make sense. If you out here doing whatever the case is, it starts with you loving you. And when you start loving you, you're going to start making better decisions for yourself. If that means exiting people out of your life for a better mental health, or stop doing this and stop doing that, because I'm convinced in my mind that it ain't nothing that you doing that you can't stop. I'm just convinced of that. I tried smoking cigarettes for, I think I did it maybe about 3 months. And just them 3 months, and when I tell you, I must have, I wasn't really smoking them. I mean, I'm talking about back to back. Put one down, pick up a nut, whatever. But 3 months. And you might say, well, that wasn't no habit or whatever. You've been doing this here for such and such. But baby, it started messing with my breath, my breathing. My heart was kind of like started fluttering. And I immediately put that down. And so the thing about it is, we getting older, ladies. And it's not a good look for us. Because these here, the younger generations, the 20s, 30s, and 40s, like I said, I'm in my 50s. And so they are looking at us, the ones that's upper age, and like, what are you doing? How can you tell me something and you ain't doing it? Or you telling me something, you don't have the results of it. It's just not add. So in order for us, to be wise and tell the younger generation and stuff, we can't tell them nothing if we still doing some of the same things. And the thing about it is, like I said, we need to be preparing for the next level in life. And some of us got to play catch up, which is, I don't know about some of us, like me. I got to play catch up. So where you at, I got to do it in a short period of time. Because I never had in my mind to work on nobody's job until retirement. It's enough, when you don't went to school, you don't stayed in just school, and then all of those years. Then you go to college, you stay in there all those years. After that, you on a job all those years. What are the years that you spending for you? It ain't never made sense to me. It ain't never made sense to me. And I mean, the reason I'm finna paint this here picture to you, I have been on jobs where I have seen some of you all in your 60s and 70s and stuff that hadn't made wise decisions for yourself. Maybe you have not owned your own home, you still renting, or your husband done died and you've been relying on him. And so that income is gone. And you don't know nothing else. So you got to start all over. Or you might have taken out another mortgage on your home, whatever the case is. But I have seen women in their 60s and their 70s come on jobs, and they be barely, oh, this is her time. They can't get through the door. Oh, my back, oh, my knees, and all that kind of stuff. So this is the thing. We need to start taking better care of our health, whatever we need to do to get so we can be better. And then we need to be able to be financially making better decisions for us financially. Because you do not want to be on no job hurting. And you got to. Your older days supposed to be your best days. And then when it come down to me, I never thought about being on that job, no job long. I always had in my mind to get stuff and get it paid off and all this stuff so I can sit on the porch with a book and tea. You see what I'm saying? And you got to get prepared for that. You got to get prepared for that. And so this is the thing. I want y'all to start just looking at life like this here. Why do you want to work all this your time? So if you got everything that you want in life, you done saved up and however much money that is and all that kind of stuff, you got everything that's paid for. Ain't that the ultimate goal of working? Enjoy some of your time. Like I said, you've been then give yourself away to the world since you was a child. Don't you want some time for yourself, even if you don't want to do nothing? But you got to get prepared for going to the next level, which is retirement age. And like I said, and if you don't start accomplishing things, accumulating things, being wise, being good stewards on what the Lord giving you, you're going to be in a bad fix. Not just for those things that I'm telling you, but people is getting laid off left and right, include me. But if I had not been wise and obedient to what the Lord was telling me, I was going to be in a bad turmoil. Bad. So y'all got to start doing better. Making better decisions for yourself and not bashing nobody. I just don't want nobody to suffer, have to go through certain things. But if you're not being wise and doing what you're supposed to do, you're going to suffer. You're going to suffer. And you can't rely on, you're going to end up in bad, you're going to be, I ain't going to say bad relationship, you're going to be in relationships that you don't want to be in because of this person is providing for you. And we should be over that. We supposed to be over that, especially in your 50s and 60s. The girl is that's in their 40s, they just realizing and some of them waking up to that. But the ones of us that's in our 50s and 60s and, we not doing that. We not doing that. We done been there and done that. Or you, like I said, you don't know, you might get laid off from your job. But if you out here living a lavish lifestyle, and I understand that's addicted too, because I was a slave for material things. I wouldn't pay my bills because I wanted a purse and perfume. So if he can do it for me, but a situation had to happen for me to get right. COVID came and stuff, because if COVID hadn't came, baby, I wouldn't have what I have. I would have been still caught up in that world in all kind of ways. But COVID came and something happened. Something happened. And it's just been booming and zooming ever since then. And I always been having in my mind since COVID, what if? Not saying that just fear, but that what if got me to where I am now. Because after COVID had came 2020, I separated from that job from 14 years. And then I ended up it was a blessing in the sky. I ended up on another job, 2020, 2025. The same thing had happened. That what if happened again. And I could have just been balling and doing this and doing that and doing all that kind of stuff. But I had in the back of my mind that what if? What if this here happened? What if that happened? And that what if kept me from just living my best life, letting my hair down and all this here kind of stuff. And I had the income to do it. But the Lord had directed me to get certain things, pay for certain things, and get it paid for. So my home is paid for. Everything in here I bought cash. And I got the best of the best. Just because it's small on the downside, I didn't spare no expense with it. So the Lord blessed me and directed me to get me some land in the country, get these historic buildings, and go ahead, just go. And now the same thing happened. But I have shelter. And if I would have stayed on my job, I would have then had my car. I would have paid my car out. But don't get me wrong, I have a Charger, that I need to put a start in, but my kids had messed that up, and I was waiting for them to get it done. But push come to shove, I mean, I have a vehicle that's paid for. Even though my building is not have all the plumbing and the septic and all of that kind of stuff, and my walls are not finished, but I have a home. I have shelter. I ain't got to worry about nobody knocking on my door with eviction notice. And I done been there a few times. But when you get to a certain age and stuff, it's not a good look. And then it seems like the older you get, seems like the Lord really put money in your hand. Seem like you is a magnet for money. I don't know about nobody else, but with me, I guess the Lord be like, well, you know, she getting older and stuff like this here, so I'm gonna put some money in her hand so she can get prepared for this here. Because she wanna, I ain't gonna say because I wanna live right, because He loves us all, sinner and saint. So I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that point. But like I said, He reign on the just as well as the unjust. The difference between me and you is what you do with what He give you. And I decided that I was going to do the right thing. And I was materialistic. I'm telling you, I couldn't hold a dollar. A dollar. I went from there to owning my own home, land, all of that kind of stuff. Not in need for nothing, no nothing. And I'm not saying that all is together, because I just told you what all I needed. But guess what? Some people don't have that. And you look at me and you're like, you thinking it's all together, but I mean, it's stuff that's over my head. You know, I lost my independence. I lost my source of income, my physical income. But the Lord been still good to me. I ain't lost nothing but some hair and some weight. And some sleep. So start getting prepared for your older age. And the ones that's not, you can do it. Because if I can do it, you can do it. Like I said, I think I'm an witness and I'm an example for anybody. Because this was at the bottom of the barrel. This was at the bottom of the barrel. Meaning that I wanted my way and how I wanted it, when I wanted. If I didn't get what I wanted, I thought I was going to die. That's how bad I was. And I was willing to be with men that I didn't want to be with, because I wanted to live a certain kind of way and a certain lifestyle, and wanted my kids to look a certain kind of way when they went to school. I didn't do these men wrong. I gave them enough to keep it coming. And who wants to do that? Who wants to do that at this here age? Who wants somebody to touch them that don't want to be touched? We passed it, ladies. And so we supposed to be in positions or anchoring ourselves in a position so we can tell somebody else that we done been there, done that, and how we got to where we at. But if we doing the same things, how can you tell somebody something? The world we live in now, you got to have evidence. How can you say that God is rich and you poor? How can you say God is a healer when you sick, when you could be doing stuff to make yourself well? It ain't making sense anymore. It's show and tell. It's show and tell. How can you tell somebody they don't need to be in a relationship with that man and stuff, and that man paying their bills, and you with somebody. How can you tell them to get out of something and you ain't got nothing? I don't want to hear nobody tell me to leave this here man, whether I want to be with him or not, that's paying my bills and giving me what I want. I don't want nobody to tell me that, and if you ain't got nothing. I'm painting a picture for you. So, ladies, get yourself, start getting prepared for your older age and stuff. Whether you married or not. Rather you marry him now, because that man can leave you. I don't care how good he been to you and how good you is to him. Don't you know it's somebody else out there that baby will rub his head better than you and whisper in his ear? So don't never put no man on no pedestal. I don't care how many years y'all been together. And I have seen it before. I used to be on jobs and women be not talking about stuff that ain't gonna last and all that kind of stuff, but I'm just want you women to be prepared and know certain things and be wise. I have seen women on job, they be talking about they boasting and bragging about their husband. To me, that's what it is. And to me, that's like putting him above who created you. They be like, oh, Johnny carried me here. Johnny did such and such. He did this here to our house and whoop to whoop, like it ain't gonna never be. And these women been in these here marriages and stuff for years, but baby, somebody, and he gone. Or just life. I mean, he might end up passing, getting an accident or whatever the case is. You got to be in a relationship and not be in a relationship. And I'm telling you because I've been there and I done that. You got to live your life like you ain't in a relationship. You got to always have in the back of your mind that what if? And you is not exempted. I'm telling you. I thought I was exempted for a whole lot of things. I'm going to tell you how stupid I was. I thought because I was so beautiful and I had the body when I was younger now, that I was exempting from somebody doing me wrong or cheating on me. Boy, wasn't that foolish. If I can tell the younger me that, baby, and then 9 out of 10, I'm going to tell you this here. Them sapsuckers will cheat on you for something. Let me shut up. Shut up, Ollie. So, ladies, be wise. The Lord is our everything. He is our husband. He is our father. He is our brother. He is our everything. And if we listen to him, we won't go wrong. You won't go wrong. I ain't saying you won't suffer or none of that kind of stuff. Because like I said, I've been unemployed now a year. And I hadn't lost nothing. But it's not a good feeling to know that your pocketbook is empty. That's not a good feeling. And I'm not going to lie to nobody. That's not a good feeling. Because my money was like my man. I ain't going to say like my God. But with a woman, well, with me, money is just like, what you need one for? Your independence. Your money is your independence. And even if you don't have money, get money worth stuff. Get your home, get your vehicle, stock up on this here, get this here paid off. Even if the money gone, you got what you need. If the Lord don't direct me or lead me back to a physical job in the workforce, I can just say this here. Besides my plumbing and stuff like that, I'll be okay for at least 2 to 3 years. And I'm not talking about money wise. I got stuff that money buys. I tell anybody, just don't stock your money up. Because the stuff that money can buy, if it's no longer available, what you got? You might well not have no money. So I tell people, get what money can buy and stack your money. Be wise with your money. That is being a good steward. And like I said, being unemployed, that's not a good feeling. Because you feel vulnerable. But if you be obedient and do what he's giving you to do, you're going to be okay. Even though you don't have your nest egg, your cushion and stuff like this here. And thank God that how I raised my children, they've been really coming through. Well, the Lord been coming through them. Helping me here and there. But they got families. And who wants to be relying on them? If I'm feeling like this here and I got my health and screening stuff, that's why I tell you, work up on your spiritual, your physical, and get yourself in a financial independence. So that you won't be a burden or have to be a burden on your kids. And I'm the type of person, I don't like to ask nobody for nothing. But I'm telling you, I just thank God for my kids, what they've been doing for me. I really do. Because they have kids, they didn't have to do that. Because as a mother and get older and stuff, you start thinking the back of your mind. You don't have no man, you don't desire no man. But you like, you know, if something happened to you, how your children gonna do you? So that's why I try to do what I need to do, how I need to do it. When I was able to do it. And now the next level that God have for me, I don't know. I don't know if it's for me to get on social media and he gonna bless me through that. Or I don't gamble. I don't desire no man. Or if these people go, and when you get to a certain age, they may not want you on their job. They want young people. So being in this here point is vulnerability. And I don't know if it's a test or not. But you know, I desire to live righteous. I don't desire to be laid up with no man. I don't. And I'm not saying that all men is bad and all that kind of stuff. Because I done had more good men than bad. And the ones I was in a relationship with, they took care of me. They paid bills. But why should I not trust God and not have been good stewards to put myself in a situation to go back? Like I said, it could be a test. But another thing, women, don't put yourself in, besides all these things I'm telling you, if you don't want, you might be stronger than me. But if I entertain a man, it ain't no such thing for me to go on a date. I don't know about y'all. It ain't no such thing for me wanting to live right and go out with a man, go out to eat with a man and all this kind of stuff. I can't be around a man long. I told you I'm gonna keep it real. And I've been single on this here island for a few years now. And that would have been keeping me, not entertaining a man. Like I said, each day on. You might have strength enough and all, but a man have been my weaknesses. So I'm not gonna entertain no kind of man. He ain't got to touch me. I'm gonna touch him. Mm-mm. So if you know that that's your weakness and stuff, and the Lord done brought you from A to Z, why would you want to go back? You might, the age we might not live to get back there. When I tell you it just took me, I'm finna be 53, it just took my late 40s to get to this point. A screen in that area. And I'm this here age. And it took, and I've been in this here thing since I was 14. Being sexually active. And to my late 40s, to get that under control, the Lord contained that with me and changed my mind thinking and stuff. Girl, we start back that again. We might not live to see getting right again. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. Each day on or whatever the case is, but I'm just telling you, I use me as an example and as a witness. And I'm talking, so if this here ever go off or whatever in the middle of me talking, it's because of storage. But I'm going to say what I got to say and all this here stuff, how it end, it end the way it do, and all this here stuff. I'm just telling you. Like I said, the ones that got to get to this here age, and the ones that's my age that ain't got it together, and the ones that's older that don't have it together. We all scribing. We all scribing. But the thing about it, we have to do well with what he put in our hand. Like I say, I'm an empty nester. I don't have no roost on this here farm. I don't have no friends. I don't have no siblings. And I'm not close to no relatives. And so, I mean, I don't entertain nothing that ain't going where I need to go. And that just be for real. They say you a product of what you hang around. Well, I hang around me and the Lord. I mean, I don't. And you get to a certain age. Why do you desire to all of this here foolishness? That's foolishness. Being messy, gossiping, talking about somebody. That's foolishness. That's foolishness. I didn't even do that when I was in my teenage years. But each day on and stuff, my mind is on something else. And so all this here stuff that you got going on and stuff like this here, who have time for foolishness? And I'm gonna tell you ladies that's doing this here foolishness, we be looking at y'all like something wrong with you. Because the older you get, the wiser you should be. And if you in your 50s and 60s with the foolishness, with the mess and all this stuff, instead of working up on yourself, baby, you stuck when your brain stuck back when you was a teenager. That's how we look at y'all. No. And like I said, time is changing, all this stuff. The world is rapid I ain't gonna say ending and all that kind of stuff because I ain't gonna say that, but stuff is changing, stuff is evolving, stuff is rotating, and if you not moving with the time, baby, you're gonna be left behind. And I ain't saying you're gonna always have it all together because you got to be wealthy to be okay, but you got to do the best you can while you able to. Now you can be out here being foolish and all this and stuff, and then when you get to a certain age, baby, you gonna suffer because especially if that body start going down, you gonna be on the if you be on these your job, you gonna be hurting. You're gonna be hurting because you got to work. Let it be a choice. Let it be a choice, not a demand. That's in every area of your life. And like I said, we don't have it all together. And life has been throwing us curves. But we gonna have to just do the best we can and while we able to, and then take advantage of the situation. Like I said, I'm taking advantage of being a grandmama, taking advantage of working on getting fit, losing weight. Um, it ain't much else you can do, you know. But make the best of whatever the situation you in. Make the best of it. And do things while you able to. Because when you cross over to the next age bracket, like I said, every 10 years supposed to be something different to go to the next level. I remember when we was in school, the teacher always used to tell you where you want to be, have you to think. Where you want to be in the next 5 years and stuff like that. Girl, you don't know where you're going to be next week. You don't know where you're going to be next week. And if you ain't got, you got you. You got you. I don't care who you got in your house or laying on side of you or whatever. You got you. And that's some of the stuff I have to say. You know, you just can't just talk about it all and stuff, but there's just something that you just gonna talk about that I just wanted to discuss and stuff, you know. And see, like this here, even though it's not finished, let me take this off and let y'all see. Even though it's not finished, but see that I always wanted that kind of tub. Now I don't know how that gonna fit me, but I'm gonna enjoy it now because you know when you get older, them legs might be hard to pick up to get in that tub. But I'm gonna enjoy it while I'm able to enjoy it. Now all this here stuff up here because I've been up here talking to y'all. But yeah, like this here drawer, I got the best of the best. So I see I closed it. It closed on its own. Got tiles and stuff down off in there. But all of that, that's there. That's right there. A medallion to go on top of my chandelier. This here to go on top of the mirror. Got my toilet still in there. That box over there is the thing that go behind this here zinc on the wall. It's marble too. And then of course I got this here thing right here. With stuff in it, tiles and organized that like that there. And so how they say it is what it is. And my daughter gave me that light thing right there. But yeah, this is your keeping it real, girl. And that's what I want y'all to always remember, to keep it real. And I got to make a phone call or so, and my daughter coming over here. So I'm gonna talk with y'all later.